Welcome back to Getting Some Head, baby. I'm Michael fucking Rainey here with my buddy Josh Francis.
What's going on, dude?
How
Thanks
are you, buddy?
For having me. I'm doing all right.
My beautiful jugged up wife Jaime on production.
Jugged up,
dude. That was my main thing that I was looking for when I was
funny.
trying to find a producer. Is
gotta have jugs.
A nice lady who's jugged up, man.
You know, my lady been getting mad at me because I keep calling her boobs the hogs.
Yeah.
And then it's probably the squealing she doesn't like because I go, let me see him. Ring, give me the hogs. And then I go, what's wrong?
I would like that.
Wait, what's wrong? You're hardly eating your beef and rice that I made you. just have no attributes that are worth. I don't know how she's with me. Babe, what's wrong? You hardly touched the undercooked beef and rice that I made. I know you were working all day. I tried to do something nice for you. Let me see the hogs. Anyways, yeah, lovely lady, love her so much.
I would be flattered if somebody came up with a nickname for my titties. Like I think that's probably what binds you. It's like you question like why somebody might be with you, but it's like if somebody takes the time to carefully name your titties,
yeah,
or to find an animal that's most representative of your titties. I think
yeah.
that says a lot.
Well, I do want to say that her tits don't resemble hogs. I will say I like to go on record and say that. I just think it's fun to go. Let me see the hog. Hogs is a fun. If you're gonna go with a tit name, it's got to be 4 letters or less.
Yeah,
you don't want anything more.
Yeah.
You know, the hogs are just right there.
Yeah, hogs is good. I think anything with double G.
Yeah, double G. There's certain words that are just fun.
Yeah,
like I was thinking about this the other day because there is just something funny about the word like waffle. Yeah, it's not a funny, but it is funny. Yeah, it's like waffles.
I mean, on its own, dude. There was one time I used to work in an alternative school for kids that were like, just get in the dumb shit at school. It was usually fights, drugs, or something, and they'd have to go to fucking night school. And I felt so bad because it was like you would see like the light leaving these kids' eyes, like their first few days in alternative school. But it's just like, just fucking tap dance and you'll be out here soon. But there was one time. Do you remember the blue waffle craze?
Oh boy, yeah, that was big when I was in high school.
Oh, dude, it devastated high schools, man.
Dude, that was the second round of that. It was like 2 girls, 1 cup. Uh-huh. Then it went that Mr. Hands video where the guy got fucked by a horse. Then it was the guy that like shoved a glass jar in his ass. Do you remember that one?
I didn't see that one.
And then it was blue waffle.
Okay.
And that was the order. That was like the hitting the second tower, third tower, fourth tower. It was, you watch 2 girls, 1 cup for the first time, and you go, sir, they just hit the towers. And then you go, fuck, and then you go, surely nothing can be worse than this. Oh, it's a guy dying from getting fucked by a horse. That's the second Trade Center going down, dude. That's the second playing.
Yeah, dude, blue waffle, it hit alternative school hard, and like I was aware of it going in, and it made me laugh on its own. But this one night at alternative school, this kid called. He held his hand up, and I went over to go see what he wanted, and he pointed at his laptop, and there was nothing in front of him. And like when I noticed there was nothing on his laptop in front of him, he's like, "I just wanted to say blue waffle," and I could not stop laughing. And and everybody heard like what he said, so they knew that I knew what blue waffle was.
And
it was just like shockwaves going through the classroom. And every other adult around is just like, what is blue waffle? It's like,
you wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it, yeah.
You wouldn't get it. You had to be there. Wasn't that whole thing photoshopped?
I don't even know. I don't care. I don't even want to know any details about it because it was just.
I was going to say, pull it up, Jamie. Pull up blue waffle near me.
Dude, what other internet phenomenons hit you besides the ones that you mentioned?
The big one. I remember the first. I don't know if you remember this one. My brother and his friends. I was like a little brother. I was like the little brother of the neighborhood. So there was like everybody in my neighborhood was like 4 years older than me, including my brother, his pack of friends, and then there was nobody my age. So I guess there was my buddy Jordan Okerstrom, but he was split custody, so it was just always me holding it down. Shout out Jordan if you're listening. And but they brought me into the computer room one day in my house, and they made me do that maze game. Do you know the maze game?
Remind me.
So it starts out, and it's like this little ball, and you're trying to like put it carefully through this maze, and then you get to it, and then the maze shrinks a little, and the ball stays the same size. Okay. And so then you start focusing more, and then you get an even smaller maze, and the ball stays the same size, and it gets to the point where you have to like lean in to be looking at to make sure you're exactly where the maze is to get the ball perfectly, and then the exorcist pops up and screams, and it's like, "Wah!" And then dude, that made me like fall down crying. They made fun of me for, I mean, dude, yeah, they used to do that. So that one was the big one, the maze game where the car commercial. The famous car commercial. Have you seen that one where it's like the greens? It's like a car driving down like this green pasture, and then again like a zombie lady pops up and screams. That one, Two Guys, One Hammer was big, which is when those Russian dudes killed that dude.
Yeah, the Dnepropetrovsk maniacs.
Yeah, is that what they're actually called?
Yeah,
they like stabbed the dude with the fucking screwdriver and just like beat the
like 2 weeks worth of like the most horrific crimes. They just woke up day after day,
and it was
like the worst shit you could possibly do.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the spectrum ranges from The Exorcist popping up on a fun game to two Russian guys murdering people in the woods. Is those were the formative years that I was in.
I always felt bad for that. Well, yeah, obviously for the old man, but it's just like for different reasons, because it's like if you're an old man on a bike, things didn't go right for you. It's like there's never like a guy who's 40 and up on a bike, unless it's like a fucking $1,200 fucking racing bike,
and even that sucks.
You think you're cool, but it does suck.
Yeah, it sucks. There's no good because you're either on your second DUI, and so you have to ride your bike around, or you're like, you're a guy who rides his bike to stay in shape. Both suck. Both suck, dude. Like
a very lean man.
Yeah,
dude, nobody wants a lean 50-year-old.
Yeah, if you're on a bike past age 12, things aren't going good. You know what I mean? It's either everybody hates you because you're the guy that rides a bike when you're like being like you're in shape doing rag rides, like get over yourself, or you have a DUI.
Yes.
There's no appropriate reason.
Yeah, it's nobody ever looks at a man on a bike and is not like, that's a child molester trying to work at Walmart.
Yeah, that guy is that guy. I'm sure that guy's pedaling to get some pussy right now. I'm sure that guy's got pussy that he's pedaling towards. Cut to some like hot guy with abs, like listening, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I get pussy.
Yeah, but that old man.
I got a mongoose.
Oh man, I would have killed for a mongoose. I had something that was like a knockoff that I thought was very cool. And I waited forever because it was like $160, which was like $1 million to our family.
Yes.
And I finally got it off layaway. And the first day that I was driving it around my neighborhood, I drove up to the park, which is where like everybody congregated at nighttime. And at the time, it was a predominantly Greek neighborhood. So I was always like a little bit of an outcast because there was all these Greek kids and me. And I drove up thinking I was going to impress like all the older Greek kids. And this girl, Maria, this fucking bitch, she's like, that's a girl's bike. And everybody on the basketball court just fucking laughed. And I might have ridden it 3 times past that just because it was pink. But I thought it was cool pink.
A bunch of Greeks playing basketball is so funny.
Dude, and
nobody over 5'3".
Bro, just a whole fucking 12 ass fuckers on each fucking team. Ass fucking diner owners.
Yeah, they have to shave their unibrows for shirts versus skins. They go unibrows versus two brow. My fiance is Greek. She's like 100%.
Like very Greek?
Yeah, very 100% Greek.
Yeah.
Like, calls her grandparents Papu and Yaya.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. And it's, Theo is her aunt. Thea is aunt. Uncle is Theo. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. Because I'm like an Irish mutt from the middle of Iowa. So like I have no culture.
Yeah.
Like it's mind-boggling to me that they do things that they do. And the things that they do are just like hang out as a family.
Yeah, it's like all like very like like heartening stuff.
Yeah. It's like they'll
what
like
is wrong with you?
Yeah, they'll be like, we should go to church together this Sunday. We haven't been to church as a family in forever. And I'm like, what? Cut to like we got confirmed, and then the second that I got confirmed, my parents were like, all right, that's done. Yeah, we are not going back there. That's just what I think happens though. If you grow up like Irish Catholic, it's like you either commit fully or you're like out.
Peter out.
Second that you can, you break away.
Yeah, once I got out of Catholic high school, my parents never fucking mentioned church again unless like a kid needed to get baptized or something like that. But it was never just like harping on it the way that they did.
You know what it is, and I've talked to my parents since, and it's a lot of it's like an umbrella type of thing where it's like it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have. That's like really how they view religion. Yeah. It's like you don't want to get into a position where you're gonna want to have that. And it's
Yeah.
the only time that would be if I got like shot in the gut outside of a nightclub or something is the only time where I'd ever be like, oh my God, you know, like I want to start doing, I can't imagine, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm being a dickhead right now, but I just can't imagine a scenario where I would be happy that I have it to lean back on. Other than, I guess, morals, maybe. I mean, maybe, though. Maybe I could. I mean, you know, I haven't faced very many hardships in my life, so maybe I say that now, but maybe I turn to religion at some point. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't think that I can't foresee a time where, like, I'll return to it, because it was, in large part because it was forced upon me so much as a kid.
Exactly.
And, like, the Greek shit did look cool, because, like, there was, like, a togetherness that you didn't see in the regular ass, like, Roman Catholicism whiteys.
Yeah.
All the honkies were just like, they'd show up, they'd moan in mass, and then they'd go home.
Yes.
Whereas the Greeks, it was more communal. Like, for Greek Easter, like, there would be, the neighborhood would smell fucking incredible, because they would be fucking roasting fucking goats or some shit in the yard.
Lambs.
Yeah. They would be roasting lambs in the yard, and it's like people would be hanging out, drinking ouzo. And
dude, their ceremony, the Greek ceremonies too, they last, like, their sermons or whatever, they last like forever. Like we like, it's like you go in, the way that they do church, maybe it's just specifically to, you know, the family, that my fiance's family, but we just sort of walk in at any point during the sermon, and then you just kind of walk in and walk out whenever, because it runs for like 4 hours. So like we'll I've sat in Greek church for like 3 hours and it's still not been over, and then we just are like, all right, let's go get breakfast, and I'm like, this is crazy that we woke up. They do that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I do think that there is something to, it's mainly sense of community that I think is why the church, that why I think I will put my kids in, you know, in through
Greek
some type of, not maybe, I don't know if we'll do Greek or if we do Catholic. I don't know. Well, that's a conversation that we'll have later on. But yeah, it's that's gonna be the reason that we break up. Is gonna be we're gonna raise them. Yeah, I'm not.
It's not hog talk.
Yeah. This isn't hog talk anymore. Yeah, we're talking about. But no, I think that I just think that it is nice to have the sense of community. It's like, you know, it's nice to finger a girl in the basement of a church when you're 13, and you're and if you don't bring your kids to church, they'll never have that experience.
Yeah.
They would do lock-ins at the churches. Did you guys have to do those overnight lock-ins?
No, but that sounds terrifying.
Everybody's just getting fingered.
Yeah.
In the name of the Son and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, dude. You just fucking in there. Just finger blast.
Dude, a church lock-in sounds horrifying. Were you a church lock-in boy?
We had church lock-ins.
Yeah.
People were getting fingered. That's like you.
Was there any supervision?
Yeah. Jesus. No. It was, there would be people that walked around. There was like hall monitor, and they would do activities, but then they'd be like, all right, and now you have 40 minutes for second dinner, and then everybody was going finger.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Oh my God.
Just fucking get in there, dude. Just
get over here.
Come here.
Why I oughta.
Why I oughta.
Oh, wise girl, eh?
Just fisting it. Yeah. But it was, you know.
I guess that makes sense, because kids probably don't want to be there otherwise, but you are excited and you have the opportunity. Whereas, I don't know, there's something different going on. I think you just don't know what to do with that excitement, so fingering seems like the natural outlet for that.
Yeah. Well, you know, because I'm sure I had a different experience too. Than there was probably other people who were like, during that break, like praying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There probably were people doing the right thing. Just me and my friends were like fucking taking edibles in the basement of the church, fingering. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Shout out Luke Humberg. Which made it sound like I fingered Luke. I didn't
That's
finger
what I was
Luke.
just gonna ask
I
you.
didn't finger Luke. Luke fingered me. No. I didn't finger Luke. But me and him used to get high and go to church, and then it was like, this feels wrong. It feels wrong, and also it's like 13 is like too young to be getting high in general. I feel like it kind of maybe affected my development of my brain, and then on top of that, doing it at a church is not good.
Spooky.
It's spooky because churches are spooky.
Yeah,
it's spooky season's upon us right now. Spooky season we're in the midst of spooky season. I just watched a thing. I've been getting into like spooky videos at night when I go to bed.
You like to go sleep with a little terror in your
heart?
I'm
a little. I like getting spooked before bed. And I didn't realize, you know, like the Amityville horror house. Have you heard that like that's been like fully debunked? Like everything about it's been debunked. None of it's true.
Well, I know a murder.
A murder happened, right?
Yeah, that's what I know about it.
So, okay, here, let me tell you what I've gathered from 3 YouTube videos. All right, that I've watched. So I'm an expert. So Ed and Lorena Warren are the couples that like the Conjuring movies are based off of. They're like the demonologist people that are like, they're the people that are always in movies, the characters that go and like do exorcisms and like take control of like the Annabelle doll and have it at their house and stuff. And then Matt Rife buys it for some reason. Did you see that? Matt Rife bought that doll. It's like, well, maybe you're getting too much money. And then, but anyways, that couple, So the Amityville murder happens, right? And at the time, Lauren and Ed were sort of holding lectures on like the theory of ghosts at like local community colleges and like little town halls, and people would pay $30 to come and listen. And you got to keep in mind, it's like the 70s, so it's like that's like something to do. You're like, oh, well, you got like it's almost like a circus. It's
was just relegated to Long Island, or were they?
I think
just traveling
it was
all over?
nationwide. They were going state to state doing this type of thing, and so they get wind of this haunted house where this murder happened or whatever, and they start doing this investigation. And then there's this very famous photo when they are going there to document it. There's this very famous photo during like the exorcism when they stay there for whatever, and NBC follows them and does like this whole broadcast on them. There's a very famous photo that gets into the media, and you can supposedly see a kid behind the staircase. Have you ever seen this photo?
I don't
where
think so.
I'll pull it up because it's like very it was like the big thing that came from this is really what started the craze of Ed and Lorena Warren. But it was like this photo of this kid who's like crouched down on the staircase with eyes like glowing, and it's like this, everybody's like, this is a demon. Like they captured a demon on this black and white photo. Amityville horror staircase photo. So basically this photo gets leaked. Have you ever seen this? Let me see if my phone. Yeah, it's like peeking out. Look it. If you look in like you see the kid in the corner. Have you seen this photo?
Yeah.
So there's this very famous photo that comes. They're not going to be able to see it in post, but it gets out, and then everybody thinks that's like a ghost. They're like, we've caught. This is the first piece of media with modern technology where we've like documented a ghost, and then this catches fire, and then they start getting like book deals because they're like, like, oh my God, these are people are like hunting demons, and it's like a modern day, like they're like these like, I don't know, it's like a savant type of person who's like, they're going toe to toe with the paranormal. It becomes basically like this like almost like underdog feel good story of like these people who are like, it's good versus evil and whatever. Well, the whole time they're doing this, they're actually also trying to bargain with the court system to get the guy who murdered his entire family out on like an insanity plea by like the case of like demons. Mm-hmm. So they have conversations with this inmate who was the guy that murdered his entire family, who's in federal prison for it, being like, if you just go with this story, we'll be rich and you'll get out of prison. So and there's like letters that have documented this. So that was their whole big push, was they were like going and being like, hey, if we market this thing the right way, not only can you not be in as much trouble as you're in, but you can also be rich from it if you just go with these lies. Mm-hmm. And they did that for like case after case after case, which actually brought up another case that I just learned about. That there was this guy whose last name was Johnson, who I think he was in Connecticut, maybe. He murders his wife, but years prior, he was with Ed and Lorena Warren, who were the couple, and they were doing an exorcist on somebody, and then it was like attached to like a teenager, the exorcist, and the guy was like, I command you to take control of me instead. Mm-hmm. Leave the boy alone. And then the boy apparently was fine afterwards, and then they thought this Johnson guy was fine too, and that this demon like relinquished itself back to like wherever, hell. And then like 12 years later, the Johnson guy murdered his wife, and then they tried to take it to trial and use the fact that he had relinquish the boy and take me instead as a plea deal. They went, he's innocent by he's not innocent by insanity, but innocent by demon possession. And then the court system was like, the fuck are you talking about? No, you can't prove any of this. But then the lawyer was like, do we or do we not swear on the Bible? So it's like, you either are saying that swearing on the Bible invalidates everything then, or and if you say that that's the case, then this whole system is flawed, or you're saying that swearing on the Bible does mean something, which means that you're believing in, the Bible, which means demons exist, which means that this is a legitimate plea deal. And then the guy got manslaughter for murdering his wife.
Whoa.
So anyways, all
Pretty
of that.
good.
And then guess what? Lauren and Ed and Lorraine Warren made like millions of dollars off selling a book about it. So they just keep doing that. They just keep taking advantage of people who murder people, and then they go, let's just say it was a possession, we'll make you a millionaire. That's like literally what they were doing.
Yeah, with the
So anyways,
with the Amityville guy, DeFeo, it was clear, like, when I read about his story, it's like, oh, this is just a guy going through a fucking schizophrenic break.
yeah, he was like a bipolar schizophrenic
heavily
break.
using drugs at the time.
Yes.
And drinking, too.
And then if you talk to, and then they interviewed a bunch of people that lived near the Amityville house, and everybody was like, no, that house is not haunted. Like, there's like, nobody else ever who has lived there ever once reported anything.
That was the perfect time for that, though, because the 70s were a very stupid time. Yeah. And any place that is the site of a horrific murder is going to have a weird stain to it that I think you can, loosely attribute that to haunting. Yeah. So that was the perfect storm of stupidity, I think.
Yes. I think that it's just like what it really is to me is more like how easily everything is manipulated. You know what I mean? Because growing up, I was like terrified of that. I was terrified of all of this, and I think that might be, how much is it just being naive and being young and power suggestion and all of that. But then it's also crazy to like the fact that guy got his murder case dropped down to fucking manslaughter, and he had 5 years in prison instead of fucking life because of this weird loophole that this lawyer found, and they backed it up with a hearsay. I don't even know. It's just crazy.
It sounds like he played it right on every angle. One, I think he might have been planning to kill his wife, and he found out about this possessed boy. He's like trying to antagonize a demon.
Dude,
it's like, yeah, hon, I gotta go save this kid. Meanwhile, he wants to kill this fucking bitch, and he's just like, oh man, I feel a little. I might have a demon in me.
Yeah,
like, if you notice anything weird, if I act weird, don't take it personally. It's just because I might have a little like residual demon in me.
Yeah, I might have a demon in me, just so you guys know. And then then it's him fucking cut to. He's like, fuck, with an ice pick.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah, he's just he's making two guys, one hammer or whatever.
Dude, did you ever see
So that was a weird tangent to go on.
No, dude, it's spooky season, man.
It's spooky season. I've been getting
mood.
into it, and I thought that I just wanted everybody to know that Ed and Lorraine Warren are frauds. And I see what you're doing.
Heard it here first.
And I've seen what you do according to YouTube videos. I just poorly recited a.
No, dude. Listen, I'm due for an enemy. Like, I don't think I've made any enemies yet on this podcast. So Ed and Lorraine Warren suck our fucking wieners, man.
Yeah, but don't do any spooky stuff to us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah,
stuff,
no. Just meet me in the flesh. I'll beat the shit. I think they're like 80. I'll beat the fuck out of them.
Dude, did you ever see that hell house in Gary, Indiana, that was like terrorizing black people?
Isn't that just like every house in Gary, Indiana?
Yeah, the water doesn't turn on. There's no heat. There's cats everywhere. Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
If you listen that people say at night, you can hear people FaceTiming in the walls. A black haunted house is so funny.
Yeah, my phone just automatically connects to Facebook Live.
It's a black haunted house. Yeah, empty fishbowl drinks keep popping up around the house. I don't know where they are.
Yeah, fresh bottle of Hennessy just completely empty by the next day. But dude, this was like the most scary possession story to me, because ghosts don't normally fuck with black people. There's something that ghosts don't like.
Rhythm.
Dude, ghosts don't like them, man. And It's so funny that ghosts like have like the same sentiments that like white neighbors have, where it's just by night 2 they're just like, get out.
That's so.
But
funny.
there's a very spooky house, and Zach Baggins bought the staircase, which was deemed as the led to the portal to hell that they think opened up.
I used to be a big Ghost Adventures guy when I was in high school.
Did you ever have any aspirations to ghost hunt?
No, I wasn't about it. Mm-hmm. I would be stealing valor if I said I wanted to. I just liked falling asleep to it.
Yeah.
It was spooky. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a house that they think is haunted. They was like, and that's another thing where I go, I don't know what I believe in, because I think that I grew up in a house that was I'm in the middle of Iowa, middle of nowhere, and the house is from the 1800s, and inevitably in an old house like that, there is something inherently odd. It's like some stuff feels, and I don't know how much of it is like, it's like it's an old house that hasn't really been, it's been renovated a few times, but also, it's made from wood. The foundation is like wood and beams from the 1800s. It's like, so how much of like the weird creaking and sounds are just the house kind of being an old house. But then you get in your head about stuff too, because it's like the power of suggestion. You're kind of like, when you're 9 years old and your mom is telling you ghost stories about the house, then she goes to go get groceries and you're by yourself and you're like, oh my God, everything is. So I grew up in a real old house. I have one story so I leave for like 5 years. I moved out, whatever, did my own thing, and then I come back to go to college, and I'm like 23. And my parents had always grown up telling me our house was haunted. So then it's like my second or third day back living with my parents to go to the college that's in my town, and I'm cooking eggs in the morning, and I just hear behind me, hello, like clear as day, and I'm all like, I like kind of freeze up.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, freeze up, and then I hear hello again. So now I'm like, I definitely heard that. So then I turn, and there's a little girl behind me in my kitchen, and I go, ah! I scream, and then she screams, and then she runs out of the house, and it was my neighbor. It was my parents had a next door neighbor that my mom used to like make lunch for sometimes, and they didn't tell me, and so I just screamed at a child at the top of my lungs, thinking it was a ghost. Yeah. And then she was,
I'm not helping you with your fucking unfinished business, bitch.
Yeah, I was like, ah! It was just my fucking neighbor.
Go to the light, you fucking little cunt.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And my mom was so mad at me. My dad, they were like pissed. Like, they were like, literally, like, why did you yell at, can't even remember her name. It was like Sydney. They're like, why'd you yell at Sydney? I'm like, I didn't yell at Sydney. I thought she was a fucking ghost. That's why. Why does she just get to come in unannounced? Why was the back door not locked out? Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
So yeah, that was my one and only like experience where I thought I saw you. Like to think that you're kind of like, I like to think that I'm kind of like a guy who would act in the face of danger. I thought I saw a 4-year-old ghost, and I screamed at the top of my lungs.
Did you think about throwing your pan at her?
Dude, no, I completely, they say it's like fight or flight or freeze. Yeah. I froze so hard. Yeah. I literally, dude, yeah, I do. I beat the fucking shit out of a 4-year-old. Yeah, then I do, Your Honor, I thought it was a demon. Yeah, I do the case from the dirt. I'm innocent by demon possession.
Just imagine some poor 4-year-old just wants a fucking Lunchable. Next thing you know, she's being beat to death with a frying pan.
Yeah, I'm just
being told to go back to hell. Go back to hell where you came from.
I didn't know that you could. Man, it's weird that you can actually feel them physically. Just like throwing her through the fucking, just dog walking her. Yeah, and then so that was my only. But my mom has tons of stories that she like swears are real about, like hearing, like, 'cause my dad worked on the railroad. He used to work swing shift, and there was, so every other weekend every other week he would basically be like, he'd be like 1 week on at like 6 a.m. to whatever, 6 till 4, and then they would flip it the next week. It's a brutal way to live. He fucking awful, never being in a sleep schedule, never being able to plan anything, just fucking miserable. But during that time, my mom basically was she wasn't a stay-at-home mom, but she had like a gig that she would work a couple days a week, but then for the most part would be with the kids. She has stories of like hearing like the footsteps coming down after my dad would get home from work, and so she would think that my dad was like up after his 14-hour shift or whatever, and she would turn around while she'd be like changing one of us, and there would be like nobody in the room. And so she has a bunch of those stories. And then my dad is addicted to Percocets and gets high all the time, so he has stories too, but I don't know. One eye's looking this way and one eye's looking that way. So I go, I don't believe you. I think that you're probably just twacked out of your mind, dude. My dad got really into Percocets after his neck surgery. It's not a good thing. It's not fun, but it is kind of. My dad's like listening to Future as like a 63-year-old. He just randomly started getting into perks. He got into perks after a neck surgery like 3 years ago. And so it is funny because then he started calling me. Never once told me anything about ghosts, but then all of a sudden after his neck surgery and his perk addiction, now all of a sudden he's like, there's something in the fuck. There's something in the attic. It's like, I think you might just be having a good time, Dad. He's like, who's that? But he deserves it. I think that at this point, as a 64-year-old man who worked on the railroad and was in the military, it's like, let him fucking have his, let him have his fucking, he gets high. He gets high in front of me, which is super funny. Like he like rips bongs all day. But he can't handle it. It's like the weed now is different than when he was.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not fun.
Dude, I had a phase in high school, I guess like my junior and senior year, where I liked weed. And it was like, it was fine. It would chill you out. But then, you know, as the years progressed, it just became, it's like, all right, I'm going to be terrified for the next 6 hours.
Yeah.
Why do I want to do this?
It becomes quickly like, can you Google a normal heart rate for me? You know what I mean? I'm just always like this. Every time I get high, I'm just like, fucking, I'm going to call my mom, I think. I don't have a good time. I'm not like a fun guy to do drugs with. I'm not good at doing drugs.
Yeah.
I just don't have the, capacity, the mental fortitude. I think that there is, I don't know if it's commemorable or not, but like, I've never been able to handle drugs. And so when I find out that people are like, you know, like friends who take like, you know, like a quarter ounce of mushrooms or whatever, and it's like, I can't even fathom doing that.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this football season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season, and getting started is easy. Pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you're right, you could win some serious dough. PrizePicks is the only app offering stacks, so you can select the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you have a favorite, now's the time to show it. Boy, I can't say enough about this Philadelphia team, man. Jalen Hurts, I think, is due for a breakout game, and I would lean toward the more on the player stats. So I'm going Jalen Hurts more for Philadelphia this week. PrizePicks even lets you follow your favorite celebs and friends and copy their lineups with just a click. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code GISH, that's GISH, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GISH, GISH, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Dude.
I took an eighth once and I thought I was done. Mm-hmm. Thought this is just forever.
I had fun with that. Like when I used to do mushrooms when I was younger, that was fun. But there was a time where like now like I'll fucking microdose mushrooms, and a couple times I took more than I anticipated. And one of those times was right before a live stream.
Oh no!
And I had to like we were doing like true crime news on my show Little Stinkers, and it started to hit me right before we started going live. And like I just remember thinking like I just have to read these as fast as I possibly can to get through this. And it was fucking hell for an hour. I'd never want to go through that again.
I It's just my anxiety. I don't know if it's my anxiety. I don't know what it is, but anytime I start to get into a different headspace, it's just so not good. I immediately go to like the darkest places in my brain for no reason. I just am like, this is forever. I go like, people hate me. I have that type of anxiety. I go like, I'm talking too much. I'm breathing weird. I'll never feel normal again. I go, this is a slip into psychosis. I'll be forever altered. I have that type of thought every time I get high. So I just don't do it anymore. And then it's funny because when I was like 13 to like 18, that's when I used to do it. I used to be able to do all that no problem. And then now I'm like in my, I just turned 30. So now I'm in my 30s and I try to get high. It's like, how was I able to handle it when I was 13? But now I'm like 30.
Pubes.
Yeah, pubes are. I've just
pubes
seen.
will do so much more for you.
It's crazy. The second you get pubes, things start going downhill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then it's no longer. You can't do certain things. Yeah, you can't eat Uncrustables anymore without judgment. You know what I mean?
That's probably what they brought you to the church to talk about that night. But then they walked in and everybody was
fingering each other.
You're finger blasting Luke.
Shout out Luke.
Man, what a tough chaperone assignment. It's like you just go in to make sure all the kids got enough fucking snacks and a kid's getting his asshole blasted.
You just people are just getting fingered. It was ladies. There were ladies. We weren't fingering boys. Well, some people might have been, but I wasn't. Maybe I don't know what the fathers were up to, but but no, there was, I don't know though. I think that when it comes to all of the drug stuff, it's like part of me thinks, I go like, are people okay? So like, if you can handle all of it, is there like a mental toughness that I don't have? Am I a pussy, or is it just a different headspace that they get into? Because I can't imagine everybody would do it if they had the headspace that I get into. It can't be fun. It's not fun.
I don't know, man.
But then I go, maybe people like that though, and I'm like being the pussy.
I think it's easy to become conditioned to think that you have to take something, especially in a specific setting. Like, for the longest time, if I went to a concert or a game, it was inconceivable to think that I would go to one of those things without getting fucked up somehow.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, like, people just pick one thing. They're like, this is going to be my thing. I know what I'm going to feel for the next 4 hours or so, and I'm just dealing with it. And they convince themselves oftentimes that it's fun.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you don't know what the alternative is, so you'd rather just go with familiarity.
Yeah, because there is just something to me about like finding out, like, I don't know. Like every time I do coke, my tummy hurts. I don't like coke. I get like I get the shits really bad when I do coke, and then I get worked up. And I get heavily. My anxiety is basically the root of everything. It's like coke makes me so anxious. Weed makes me so anxious. Mushrooms makes me think everything is forever. Mm-hmm. I've done acid once. It was bonk, thank God, because I don't think I would be able to handle that at all. I don't know. I just can't. I don't relate to people who like that stuff because it's so not. I like drinking. I mean, drinking's fine, but it's like, but drinking, I know that everything is going to be okay. And then for some reason, when it comes to anything else, I don't have that, which is funny because you can just as easily slip into like a psychosis can happen from it's almost more common with alcoholics, I would say, because it's so much more prevalent. Like alcoholism, nobody's ever like, and when people are like really bad in like alcoholism, they start getting into those weird like anger fits, and it's like, well, that doesn't come from like a good mental place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. So I just go like, it's funny because I can handle drinking fine, but if I hit a blunt once, it's like game over for 2 days. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but I have fears that I'm like in green rooms and I'll eat stuff, and I have fears that it was an edible, and I'll have like a panic attack that I think I'm gonna get high, which I'm like, I don't know what that is either. And I don't know. So again, going back to the original point, it's like I don't know if I'm just like a pussy though, or if I just like this sober state of mind. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm glad that you figured that out, because like people go much longer periods of time without recognizing like, all right, this definitely doesn't work for me, and you just end up causing yourself a lot of unnecessary stress. So I think just knowing that kind of shit is going to serve you much better in the long run than otherwise if you were still doing shit all the time you didn't really feel like doing.
Yeah, that's true. But then I do get made fun of. People are like, oh yeah, like you're the only guy not microdosing. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, shut up. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, shout out Ed and Lorena Warren. Stupid fucking thieves. Fucking scamming people with ghosts.
Now, if
That's a fun way to scam people, though. If you're
it
gonna
is,
do it.
dude. I would like to say that like people now, like 50 years past that time period, would be much less susceptible to that kind of shit. But I don't think that's true. I think you still have your people that love spooky stuff enough to buy into that bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's all power of suggestion. I really do. I think that if I took you right now, regardless of how you believe, what you believe in, paranormal wise, but if I took you to a house and I went, okay, I'm gonna drop you off here. Family got murdered here 50 years ago. People say it's haunted. I'm gonna leave. You just have to be here for 12 hours. Now the only thing you're thinking about is every time anything happens in that house, you're like, oh my God. If there's a creak, you're like, that's a ghost. That's a ghost. Yeah. And if I take you to a different house and I don't say any of that, you might just have a good time. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just power of suggestion, just like anything else. I think we're all going to die soon anyways. You know, you might as well get spooked out a little bit. I don't know what I'm on right now.
Have you ever going back to like what you said about being spooked by that kid in your kitchen, did you ever think about reaching out to that kid and be like, yo, just know?
Well, I'm not going to reach out to a 9-year-old.
Maybe she's watching the show now. Now's the time, Josh.
Yeah, maybe she's a fan.
Put Sydney on the phone.
Yeah, dude. I
have to make an amends with a 9-year-old.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
put her on the phone.
I'll split a gummy bear with her and go, listen, we're good, right? And then that's almost worse because I go, don't tell anybody about our secret. Talking about to a 9-year-old. Don't tell anybody about this now. Yeah, in the house that she lives in, my next door neighbor, the person who owned that house before him, is a gay porn star now.
What? What's his name?
I don't know what his stage name is. His real name, well, maybe you shouldn't. It was TJ Mitchell was his surname. I don't know what his stage name is. Probably like fucking. Oh God, I don't even think. I've never thought about gay
That's
male.
hard.
Yeah, gay male porn star names. Because you hear like lady ones is what I know, and those are all like cherry holes or whatever. I wonder what gay male porn stars names are. You can probably have some fun with it.
Why do you say that, Josh?
Well, I'm just saying there's more options. I'm used to like elite, slutty, like, you know what I mean? Like Charlotte Sins. It's like, that's fun. Mm-hmm. What's like a male equivalent? Like fucking
I think you just
hard rammer or something.
Yeah, you just got to indicate virility. and
Jack Hammer.
Yes. You're nailing it.
Something hammer, something masculine, like a weapon. Yeah. Your cock's a weapon. I guess that doesn't have to be gay to make it a weapon. Pound. Yeah,
it's something.
Johnny Sins is that's a great name. That's a good fucking porn name. Mine. I saw a thing one time that was your porn name is your middle name in the street you grew up on, and mine would be George Delaware, which is a founding father. It sounds like a founding father. Mm-hmm. They also said not to tell people that because it's like your security questions. Mm-hmm. Fuck it. You guys can have $58 if you want it. If you guys can get into my account, you earn the $58. Go get Chipotle on me, dude.
Was there any indication that guy would grow up to do gay porn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did taekwondo. That's a dead giveaway. Uh-huh. Yeah, everybody else is playing football. He was like practicing taekwondo.
Yeah, what are you practicing your forms? Okay. Dude.
Yeah. You're practicing your techniques. You always get mad. He goes, it's not a fucking. We'd always call it like a move. You're practicing your moves. You go, no, it's a technique. It's not a move. It's a technique. It's like, now that alone lets you know that he's bottoming. It is. There is something. Do you remember kids growing up? I don't know. When I was growing up, people were in taekwondo and karate, and they thought that it was like tough. And it's like, but I grew up in Iowa, so people were wrestling, and it would be like a battle of like that was a playground battle. Who's tougher, taekwondo or wrestlers? And it's like wrestlers are fucking freaks. People who wrestle are scary. My friend, like the scariest guys I know are like just like dudes that wrestled for 10 years.
Dude, what if you got beat up by that 9-year-old's 9-year-old friend who wrestled?
Yeah.
Class, and like a 9-year-old classmate's like, where's he live?
Yeah, where's he live? He's right next door. I'll be there. He just gets, he just fucking cross faces me. Did you ever wrestle?
For a couple months senior year, because my buddies were into it and they had been on the wrestling team a few years, and I tried it. I did like it, but I was so much of a pussy that after I lost, I think I went 0 for my first 5 matches, and it got worse by the match. The first match I came close to winning, and I was like, oh, I might be good at this. But then it was just like cartoonish pin after cartoonish pin.
Do you think that you had success maybe the first time? It's like, have you ever heard when people talk about like playing basketball against somebody who hasn't ever played basketball, and it's actually harder for like if you have the ball and you're like trying to like fake somebody out, it's like harder if the person's never played basketball because they don't even know what you're trying to do. You know, they don't bite for the fakes. Yeah. So it's like you kind of didn't know anything about wrestling when you first started, so you might have had almost nothing to base it off of, so you're like almost winning because you're like unpredictable to the other guy, and then all of a sudden you started learning moves and techniques, and then
dude, I think that's a big part of it. Another thing that I think played into it was that the first couple matches were at a tournament, so there's all kinds of other shit going on, so all the attention isn't on you. Whereas, you know, there were times where I remember going to like schools that were really geared toward wrestling, and it's just you and the other kid on the mat, and that's all the entire gym is focused on.
Yeah.
And it's like I was already self-conscious because I was the only JV kid, so all the varsity kids had cool uniforms, cool warm-ups, and I had an old uniform they had left over from the 80s.
Fuck.
So I looked fucked up, and I had a hairy chest at 16. So I had a hairy chest, tits, and was terrible at wrestling.
And
so
you're like, a tattoo. Just like a fucking Sailor Jerry tattoo. You have a fucking U.S. Navy tattoo on your back.
Oh, dude, it was the fucking worst. But I mean, I did like that. You know, for the little bit that I did wrestle, I got in pretty good shape pretty quickly, so that was fun. But the losses really piled up quickly, and I just began to dread even going to practice.
Yeah, it's not fun to lose. That I think it takes, obviously, but it does take something. Like the football program I played in was the same way. We sucked so fucking bad that it was like by the time that I went through, 6 years of that program, I was like, I'm fucking done. Like, I didn't play my junior or senior year because it was like, yeah, we won 3 games total from like when I was in like 7th grade till now. It's like, I don't want to keep. We're like the laughing stock. You just get the shit kicked out. I went up against Alan Lazard. You know Alan Lazard for the Jets? He's like the receiver. He used to play in the Packers. Yeah. He went to Urbandale High School. I used to guard him. That was 5'8". He was 6'4".
Would he talk to you the entire time?
He not really. He wasn't yapping.
That's good.
Other than when he would catch a play. Other when he would fucking do a one-handed guard. He scored like 8 touchdowns on us total. I guarded him twice, and I was like, 5 of them happened again. Dude, like 5. I guarded him 2 games. Both times, the game tape afterwards was brutal. It was awful. He would do like that, and I'd fall over. He had a beard. I remember him having a beard. I remember that was always intimidating to me when I was playing high school sports. There was another kid when you're like 14.
Yeah.
And you see another kid who's in your grade, but he's like a man already.
Dude.
And you go, oh, you have a fucking.
So frustrating.
You have a beard. You have a mustache. You're 14. I haven't even. Yeah, I have 4 orange pubes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I shouldn't be going against you.
I feel like that thing presented itself more than anything else when kids in your grade started to get pussy. Because I remember being in Spanish class, and a couple kids within the course of a couple of weeks had each started getting pussy, and it's like they would just yell at each other across class about it. And I just remember thinking, like, all right, I just love Beavis and Butthead, man. Like, when is it going to be my turn to get some pussy? But
you got to go to church, man.
I know, man.
You got to go to church to get some pussy.
I could have been getting fingered that whole time, dude. I didn't know that's what they did, though. Even though I went to fucking Catholic school for so long, we didn't have any fun stuff like that. It was just, we did have like a child molester got transferred to our parish, I think when I was in 6th grade. And it was like a classic.
And then it was a game of hide and seek.
Yeah. Dude, it really was. Because he came and he presented himself as like, he was the classic groomer. And it was like, he saw that we loved hockey. So he told us that he was like a personal friend of the New York Islanders head coach who had won 4 Stanley Cups. So we're just like, oh my God, this guy's the coolest guy on earth. And then he would play basketball with us because we all had like, you could buy an after school membership and just use the gym. And you had it for like 2 hours after school. and he would play basketball with us. And I stopped using my membership because when he started playing, there was one day where he scooped me up and he growled in my ear. And it just made me so uncomfortable that I never wanted to go back.
Oh, that is...
Yeah, and he eventually left the next year, and nobody knew what happened, and everybody was bummed that he left. But then in like 2009, he got busted for possessing kiddie porn. And he was like, he became a lay teacher, and he was named like Lumberton County School District like Educator of the Year at one point. So this guy, like, he was pretty
Mystic
slick.
River, that guy.
Yeah, for real.
I did think that growling in a kid's ear is like that's like disturbing on a level that I've like that like makes me have a guttural reaction here.
Dude, it was he was always like, I don't know, during the games, like he was always very like handsy. And as a kid, you chalk it up as like, okay, this is a guy who's just like being a mentor, I guess. But then at a certain point, it gets very weird. But then I was like running. I got to like half court, and I was just taking off my feet, and he just growled in my ear from behind. And I just remember feeling the most uncomfortable that I had ever felt.
Do you have siblings at all?
Yeah.
Older, younger?
2 years older.
2 years older, brother, sister?
Sister.
Was your dad around?
Yeah.
Did you tell your dad?
No.
No.
I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. I wonder how that... Yeah, I just wonder how that... Yeah, because as a parent, I wonder how that would... Hearing that, I wonder what the reaction would be.
Dude, it was... I don't think they would have done anything, and I don't know that I would have entirely faulted them because, like, at that time...
It wasn't
incomprehensible.
Yeah,
it was probably something weird, but, like, at the time, like, I don't think anybody, including the adults, had any idea that priests were porking kids.
Yeah, that was how they got away with it for so long. If it wasn't for those damn kids.
Yeah, and the worst part was, dude, is he was a handsome guy, and he was Italian, and he was like, he would speak the lingo.
That's where everything went wrong,
dude. Which is where like
the Italians,
all the
give me the butt.
Yeah,
I want to fuck in your butt.
Yeah, you know that kid's book. You know, if you give a mouse a cookie, like if you let an Italian priest in your parish,
he's gonna
like,
growl in your ear.
Break loose, yeah,
and if he growls in your ear, he's gonna want to.
But nobody would have ever believed that he was a problem because, you know, every mom in the fucking parish is sex starved, and a handsome priest for a lady that's really in the church. It's, you know, if he cut my head off in front of my mom, she probably would have been like, come on,
he's a good listener.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I think that. I never had, not that I'm aware of, we never had anything crazy like that happen. We had a kid, my neighbor got kidnapped, that was my age. He was, so he wasn't my neighbor, but my next door neighbor, they were grandparents, their grandchildren were my age, and they came to visit for they were there for like a weekend. Mm-hmm. And, on the corner of our block, a van pulled up and just grabbed him and threw him in the back of a van. And then they just found him like 30 minutes outside of town, like 2 hours later, just on a trike, on his tricycle. Yeah, nothing. Apparently, the story that we got told was nothing happened. But then that became like a big thing in our neighborhood. It was like neighborhood watch everywhere. And then like dad started taking shifts, like driving her. Mm. But at that point, it's already too late. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like they try to do the proactive thing. I mean, obviously nobody's going to predict that can happen, especially in, you're in Iowa. So it's like, I feel like growing up there specifically makes you feel safer, mm-hmm. which is what makes everybody's guard is lowered. So then when stuff does happen, it's so much worse because you're like, how could this ever happen? It's like, because you never thought it could, which is how everything can happen.
Oh, dude, that's terrifying.
So many.
Did they catch the guy?
They didn't. Whoa. Never caught the guy. And nothing, again, the police report just says that they grabbed him and then they moved him. The story that they think is that he saw all the stuff, like he immediately heard on the radio the Amber, because back then it was like the radio going off for the Amber alerts and everything, and he just ditched the kid right away and was like, oh fuck, I can't do this. They saw him, they had the license plate number, so they were like, he thought he was fucked or whatever.
He had the kid in the van, he took the tricycle.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've had this for fucking years, man. Yeah, I've had this even when it wasn't cool.
My father's father used to have this tricycle.
Yeah, did you ever see the video of the kids beating the guy on the tricycle to death with a hammer? It's my biggest fear, man. I'm worried for my life out here.
Dude, there was nothing ever crazy in my neighborhood other than like that happened. And then I grew up in Mason City, Iowa, and there was my dad. Maybe I shouldn't tell this. I'll tell it. I don't know. I used to. So growing up, my neighborhood, my city started expanding and started growing up a population, and a lot of people were moving in to the north side of the town, and the north side of the town quickly got a reputation for being like the bad side of town.
Yeah,
and we lived on the north side, and then my dad used to always be like, every time that all the crime would happen, he'd be like, it's those fucking guys from Detroit are moving here. And now it's like, and so I thought that people were coming into Detroit from Detroit, moving to Mason City, Iowa. And then I learned years later that's just what my dad called black people. Anytime something would happen, he goes, those guys from Detroit. He was just talking about black dudes. So for years, I thought my city had an influx of people moving from Michigan. And it was just how my dad referred to it.
Yeah, they're buying up all the fish bowls for drinks.
Yeah, there's no fish bowls at Applebee's anymore. So bad, dude. It's so bad.
Dude, I got a couple questions before we move on to the Patreon.
100%.
If you don't mind. So this question is sponsored by my buddy Jeremy Sirkin at Executive Tree Care. If you guys in the Philadelphia area have any tree needs, Jeremy at Executive Tree Care will take care of everything you need. He's been my buddy for a few years now, and he's the fucking man. He'll shoot you straight. There's no bullshit. He'll take care of it at a better price than you'll find anywhere else. So check out Executive Tree Care. And Josh, as a guy who grew up, and assuming you grew up in an area with a lot of open space,
yeah.
Were you like a DIY yard guy, or would you and your family hire somebody to do that kind of shit?
Oh no, I'd mow my yard since I was like 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was my first chore. That was my first thing that I had to do. I didn't really have that many chores growing up. Mowing the yard and picking up dog shit. I was more of a mow the yard, pick up dog shit guy. Yeah, my brother got to fucking do the dishes. Then when you get out there and fucking pick up dog shit.
Dude, that's probably why you didn't get kidnapped. It's because the guy's driving around in the van, you're covered in dog shit.
I smelled like fucking dog shit. I had shit on my face. Dude, okay. We have armadillos in my neighborhood, my new neighborhood.
Okay.
Do you know armadillos are in Texas? Those things are fucking freaks. Those things
I only see them dead.
They're huge, and
when they get squished, it looks like alligators.
Their whole existence is eating worms. I see them. They just dig at night, and they dig with their little claws and grab worms. That's like, there's something that's so wrong about that. To have fingers as an animal and just use it to like dig grubs up.
Yeah.
Go get a fucking apple or something. You know what I mean? Climb a tree, a fucking little. They bother me.
Yeah, I don't want to think about any animal fingering the earth.
You did. You shouldn't be able to be like, they find a worm and they're like, yes. They're just thinking like slur.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I'm good
they
on
drive
that.
me nuts.
Yeah.
Speaking to the lawns, they dig holes. There's tons of holes everywhere in my neighborhood because of these armadillos.
Dude, I've been lucky. I've only seen them dead on the side of the road. I haven't seen a live one or any of their fucking...
I don't like them. They're just gross to look at.
Yeah, I hope.
And then
keep
my
it that way,
dog
man.
fucking hates. My dog gets like terrified of them because she's like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Yeah. You tell the dog they're moving in from Detroit.
Yeah, I went there. The Detroit armadillos.
Okay, 2 more things I want to ask
Yeah,
you.
sorry.
One is, did you ever get any kind of financial advice from parents or mentors growing up, or did you just have to fucking wing it financially?
Yeah, no, never.
Okay.
Never. Yeah, well, I still am winging it right now. Nobody's ever once given me financial
right.
advice. The best I have is I don't have a credit card. I've never had a credit card, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But I've been told the only thing my dad ever said was, which again, probably not great advice, was you should just never pay for anything you can't afford. And I went, there you go.
Yeah,
so I've
that
been
makes
driving
sense.
a 1999 Ford Fiesta for
Dude, let it rip, man.
Yeah. So that was no financial advice.
Yeah, there's been very few people that I've had on this show that actually received any kind of healthy financial advice. So it's almost across the board where people are just like, yeah, I was never spoken to about maintaining healthy finances.
I think, and I don't know, my assumption would be, maybe this is just unique to me, but just growing up with like a blue collared family, it's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing either. I mean, it's like they celebrate like to my family, like going to like Buffalo Wild Wings is like a big night out. It's like, you think that guy knows anything about fucking 401ks? Yeah. My dad just bought a fucking second crossbow. He has an AK-47. You think that my dad bought an AK? My dad, this is a true story. My dad won $2,000 on a lottery ticket, and we were still paying off our garage, our cars, everything. My dad just went and bought an AK-47. Mm-hmm. All the money went towards an AK-47 and like 3,000 rounds.
He's getting ready for creditors.
Dude, my mom was pissed. She's like, "What are you doing? Like, we have like $10,000 of debt." My dad
was he pumped? Like, was he like, "You guys got to see this"?
Are you joking? Yeah, he's posting photos on his Facebook.
Is that how your mom found out?
No. My mom found out because he came home and shot it in the backyard. You know how crazy it is to be? I mean, that's just the level of my dad was shooting an AK-47 in city limits, and he was like, "Get that Detroit boy out of here!" No. But yeah, he did shoot. He was shooting it. He shot it in the ground to see if it fired. Dude. He went. I didn't know if it was gonna fire.
It works, baby.
It worked. Yeah, it turns out it worked. Mm-hmm. Turns out you didn't buy you shouldn't just be able to buy an AK-47.
Dude, that rules, man. Oh, dude, last question before you go to Patreon. What is something that you're grateful for right now?
I didn't know we were going to get deep. Let's see. I have everything is this cat rules. Yeah, everything. What was his name?
Bud.
Bud. Come here, baby. Buddy.
He always likes to make an appearance.
Bud. You know what? I am actually. I just had. My fiance was out of town for the last week, and I got her this morning. And I realized, I think I made the right decision. I think everything is going to be great with us. Oh, you know what I mean? Not that I never thought that, but going away for each other for a week, I was like, oh, I miss her so much. Yeah. And not that we haven't been apart or whatever, but it was just one of those sentimental things. When I picked her up, I was like, yeah, this is right.
It's very cool, dude.
Yeah. So I think I made the right decision with that. I think that she will wake up sooner or later and go, this guy keeps calling my tits the hogs. I got to get out of here. But until that day, I'm very thankful. I love you so much, babe.
Oh, dude,
thanks for having me.
You're the man, Josh.
Yeah.
You can stick around for Patreon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Friendly Fire podcast. Look up my podcast. It's with Matt Ross, my other friend, who's a very funny comedian. He's one of the funniest guys I know. And then I also have a bunch of sketches. If you go to Off With Their Heads Comedy, you have to type in Off With Their Heads Comedy. I have a whole medieval show that a bunch of people you are probably fans of, or at least have heard of, have been on it. Tommy Pope's been on it. James McCann has been on it. Casey Rocket, Cam Patterson. A bunch of people have came and acted in a medieval sketch. So go look at those medieval sketches. They're fun.
Dude, you're so goddamn funny, Josh. Dude, I just want to thank you. Like, I appreciate you giving me so many opportunities since I've been here in Austin. Like, you put me on a bunch of shows so far, and it's just much appreciated, man.
Dude, thanks. Dude, this is, anything I can do to help, because I enjoy what you guys do. I think you're very funny, and I also know that it fucking sucks when you move to a place. Yeah. Moving to a new scene and having to start over, even though you've been doing it for so long, it's fucking, not start over, but it's like.
It is, though.
Yeah, people don't know you. Like, the hang gets weird, whatever, dude. You're always welcome to.
Thank you, dude.
Come whenever, dude.
Much appreciated, brother.
Thank you.
And we're heading over to patreon.com/gettingsomhead with part 2 with Josh Francis. On top of that, too, if you're not a patron yet, consider joining the Patreon, because not only do we have bonus episodes of Getting Some Head every week, but I'm doing a podcast with my lovely wife, Jaime, called PAWG Talk. And every week, we're just talking PAWGs, we're talking relationship stuff. We're just having fun. She's my favorite person in the fucking world, and I love talking to her, and she's very sweet and just a beautiful lady, and I really love doing shit with her. And I'm also doing a solo true crime podcast on the Patreon called No Bueno, where every week I'm just picking a way to see the good in some very awful people. The most recent episode I found wanted to focus on Ed Gein's home decor and his fashion sense. So we really picked that apart and just really delved into what made that special. First episode dug into Jeffrey Dahmer's job history and showed what a good employee he was. So if you're also interested in seeing the good in some very bad people, check out No Bueno. Available on the patreon.com/gettingsomhead Patreon, baby.
That's so funny.
We'll see you over there, baby.
I didn't realize that Ed Gein only killed like what, dude, 2 people or something?
2 people. Might have killed his brother, but yeah, definitely 2. And he gets lumped in with
everybody.
Some real fucking heavy hitters. But yeah, it's like 2, man.
Those are rookie numbers. Put me in a fucking mall with an AK-47 and I'm like...
We're going to make that happen, Josh.
The Patreon.com.
Yeah, we're going to film it for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Right. We just got to call Josh's dad, get his AK-47.
Yeah, call that, and then he'll find out where
Yeah.
No, okay.
Don't go to Hot Topic tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys.
See you guys.